WCBI News at 10 starts now.
It was a case that shocked the Magnolia State. Now one of the men involved in the murder of a 6-year-old boy learns his fate. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. D'Allen Washington entered a guilty plea to accessory after the fact to kidnapping in the death of Kingston Frazier. In May of 2017, little Kingston Frazier was shot and killed in Madison County while sleeping in the back of his mother's car. Our statewide news partner reports in a plea deal, Washington admitted guilt to accessory after the fact to kidnapping. Washington was sentenced to 20 years in prison with 5 suspended. In the courtroom, Washington asked the family for forgiveness. Here at home, a man reported missing in Pickens County last week is found dead. According to Alice Police Chief Tony Jones, 68-year-old Charles Manning was found in his vehicle just off of County Road 23 late Sunday morning. Family members had reported Manning missing last week. Jones says Manning's vehicle ran off the road, hitting some trees. In Oktibbeha County, a grand jury has indicted the man accused of shooting and killing a Starkville optometrist. District Attorney Scott Colon confirms 41-year-old Tommy Chisholm was indicted on all charges. In January, Chisholm reportedly entered the Starkville Walmart and opened fire. He now faces capital murder and an aggravated assault charge. That aggravated assault charge was added after it was discovered another employee was nearly struck by a stray bullet. Chisholm was arrested shortly after that shooting, roughly 100 feet away from the scene in the parking lot. Also in Oktibbeha County, a grand jury has indicted a former Starkville police officer in connection with an officer-involved shooting. 25-year-old Gary Wheeler is indicted for shooting Zatarius Gandy, a robbery suspect, during the early morning hours of June 3, 2017. Wheeler was responding to a robbery at the Sprint Mart at the corner of South Montgomery and Highway 12. Gandy allegedly robbed the store and took off in a vehicle with officers in pursuit. Officers chased Gandy to South Wedgwood, where he left the car and took off on foot. The indictment states that Wheeler shot into Gandy's vehicle. Gandy was apparently shot several times before he was arrested. Gandy was charged in connection to the robbery and pursuit last year. Starkville police turned the investigation over to the MBI. Today, Starkville police confirmed Wheeler was placed on administrative leave following the shooting. He later resigned this April. He went to work for the MSU Police Department. Late today, MSU Chief Communications Officer Sid Salter stated that Wheeler resigned from his MSU position. Well, switching gears now, it's time to get a first look at our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Scott. Some pretty nice rainbows out there earlier this evening. Look at that, a double rainbow, as a matter of fact, with a few of those passing showers. Very isolated in nature. That was one near Starkville. Now, we still have a little patch of light rain southeast of Louisville right now, right there along 397. But for the most part, we're doing okay. Clouds clear out. Temperatures cool down into the upper 60s tonight. How about that for mid-July relative to where we have been recently? And for the next 24 hours here in the Columbus area, down into the upper 60s, back into the mid to upper 80s tomorrow. A fair amount of sunshine. I'll be back with the full forecast, Scott, in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Keith. Well, usually it's the teachers asking the tough questions, but tonight the roles were reversed. Several teachers joined in teacher trivia in Starkville. Each teacher forms their own team for a chance to win hundreds of dollars to go towards their classrooms. Organizers say they know many teachers have to pay for their supplies out of their own pockets, and this is a way to lend a helping hand.
This all really started because my daughter-in-law is a kindergarten teacher here in town, and I began to realize how much of her own money she spends every year buying supplies for kids who don't come with the appropriate supplies, even organizational things for the classroom. If she decides that she has children who need special chairs, she has to buy them. And that's where this came from, was just realizing that teachers put forth so much effort and so much money of their own that we decided we would help out.
This is the first year Modern Woodmen has hosted Teacher Trivia Night. They say they plan to make it an annual event. A recent survey shows that in the year 2014-2015, during that school year, 94% of public teachers had to dip into their own pocketbooks at least once. Our Quentin Smith speaks with teachers about this growing trend. He joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Quentin.
Yo, Scott, one teacher I spoke with says she spends thousands of dollars each year from her own pocketbooks for her classroom. Now, while teachers are scraping for extra change, they say fully funding education could help solve this problem.
Whether it's markers,
notebook paper, or even folders. Students aren't the only ones rushing to the stores to buy these items.
Every single year I've had to use my own money to buy stuff for my classroom.
Most teachers, if not all teachers, spend their own money for their students.
Peyton Jackson is a third grade teacher in Starkville and says on a yearly basis she spends anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 out of her own pockets for school supplies.
Most of my paycheck probably goes to buying glue or buying new pencils, especially pencils. We run out of pencils a lot.
They don't know that I'm actually buying this stuff with my money, but it will make a lasting impression and they will learn the things that they need to learn.
Vivian Spears has been teaching for more than 2 decades and says it's common for teachers to have to spend their own money.
Last year we were doing a unit on apples, and we were going to make applesauce, and we were going to have the different types of apples. So I just went to the grocery store and bought all the different types of apples that I needed and the supplies to make the applesauce.
Spears says budget cuts from state lawmakers is a prime reason for teachers having to spend their own cash. She believes lawmakers need to fully fund education. And if that happens, she's confident that teachers like herself will have the necessary resources available for their classrooms without having to dip into their own pocketbooks.
Education is so important, and the standards just keep getting harder and harder every year, and more pressure on teachers every year to get those scores up. And just stop cutting the funding for education. We've got to fully fund education.
Most teachers are, out of the goodness out of their heart, they don't mind doing it. But if I would have to say fair, probably not fair.
A state lawmaker says education was underfunded by $200 million. That's an alarming number that many state lawmakers are now fighting to change. Scott?
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. Well, there's a network of resource centers around the state working to connect the dots for struggling families. Families First for Mississippi takes a holistic approach to giving folks a hand up instead of a handout. Courtney Ann Jackson has more.
Families First doesn't take a one-size-fits-all approach to helping folks improve their outlook on life.
Them not having the stigma of going to a DHS office and coming here to us, we can help those families navigate any issues that they have regarding parenting, job, education, and some of those things.
Not everyone is a referral from the Department of Human Services, but the agency provides the majority of the funding for the program and works closely with them. There are 21 resource centers across the state, and they're filled with resources that you may not even realize are needed, like this clothes closet, for example.
Our job readiness program, we want to offer our clients the option to walk away with an interview appropriate attire.
But nearly 100 participants will put on caps and gowns like these Wednesday for the online high school diploma program.
We offer a second chance for so many, and for a lot of people we offer the chance in order to advance in life.
It's not a GED, it's an officially recognized Mississippi high school diploma, and the graduates will include those who couldn't meet requirements to walk in graduation with their peers this year to those who were middle-aged.
Come into contact with these individuals, it's like you've given them $1 million because you've given them something that they need in order to advance in life and earn more money in this economy.
Other clients come in for parenting guidance, which is sometimes ordered by the state.
What we find when the parents come, the first step for them is the barrier of coming through that door to ask for help. But when they get here, they're comfortable, they talk to us, and they participate in the class. And a lot of things that we take for granted, sometimes the parents just don't know.
Families First is also providing classes to help keep foster families up to date on their requirements.
Fairly quiet out there. Columbus Tupelo Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy in downtown Louisville, Mississippi, right there with our Up Insurance camera network. Humidity still in check. Your full forecast is next.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's go up to Tupelo, our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. Look at that, some passing clouds and some sunshine today. Even a few showers moving through Lee County. C1 move through right there. Another one coming on in this evening. Some brief downpours, a little bit of rain out there. Rain chances, though, few and far between this week. Over the next 24 hours in Tupelo, down into the 60s tonight. This may be turning a little bit too cool, but we should be back into the mid to upper 80s tomorrow across the region. Those showers we just showed you, one lone batch there southeast of Louisville. That's it. In our coverage area, a few more blips down there south of Birmingham, but that should be just about it for tonight. Few and far between, as I mentioned, were the showers, most concentrated across far northeast Mississippi, and then this rogue batch moving through parts of the Golden Triangle area tonight. Here's the big picture. Rain continues across the East Coast. We have dry weather here, more activity back to the west. But around here for the next couple of days here through the rest of the work week, not very active. More soaking rain just to our east. We don't really anticipate a lot, although rain chances not completely zero. But in general, moisture in the near term off the East Coast. Dry air coming on in from the northwest for the middle of the week. And it's going to be nice and comfortable here. More humid as we get into the end of the work week into the upcoming weekend. And with that will come some higher rain chances by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I can't rule out a shower tomorrow or Wednesday, but basically nil here through Friday relative to where we have been. It just seems like we've had storm after storm, shower after shower for many, many weeks and months around here. Nice little break now. Cooling down across the eastern part of the country right now. Still very, very hot. The warmest part of the country today, the desert southwest, Death Valley, 125. Tonight, down into the upper 60s, the clouds on the way out, nice and comfortable. You may want to open up the windows, but maybe not. Just keep them ready to go for the heat tomorrow. Air conditioner probably needed again, although it won't be as humid. Upper 80s to around 90 in the afternoon. Not too bad. We start out in the 60s. You may want to do a workout early in the day. Maybe in your driveway or something before it gets too terribly hot. Maybe sit out on the back porch and watch the sun come on up. It's going to be a pretty nice morning, but warm in the afternoon here. High pressure as we go throughout the next few days will keep us quiet for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll have another frontal boundary approach by the weekend. Moisture starts to come on in with a southerly wind later this week, and that will give us a better rain chance. So tomorrow, upper 80s, upper 60s probably tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Back into the low to mid 90s for the end of this work week. A better chance for a few scattered showers and storms Saturday. Much higher, though, probably Sunday and Monday. So it's still July here. It's going to feel like July later this week, but right now, let's just enjoy it.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Well, some Houston high schoolers have been catching some rays and running with them. We find out where it got them when we come back.